Now, the way I see it is just a few decades ago, uh, the White House used, you know, papers from typewriters and, you know, all sorts of things. And to communicate, you actually have to send it to that office or go to that office. And just a few years ago, uh, when email came into the fray, I don't think everybody adapted to it immediately in that sense. And whoever whoever isn't or whoever doesn't caution the Secretary of State that this might be a problem in the future is wrong to do so, because it's not in her job description to know how IT works. So that, to me, is the whole trust or no trust. It's basically about not really damaging information, but probably personal information, right? But now, she's saying if they want to, they can. And I'm saying you can trust Hillary. You can trust her because she she's honest in the manner of rather not answering than lying, right? So the email scandal is being overblown. I'm sure I've had my emails printed out and sent to Lord knows who, and yeah, you get over that. It's it could be people with illicit intent, misguided people, but at the end of the day, uh, it does not cause concern for national security. And I think that's what a lot of people are thinking. What about our security? Are we secure? And the answer is yes. It was used by the former president, so I think it's safe. I don't know whether they updated it or not, but at the end of the day, emails are not something that you can take to label someone as a criminal or as someone, being incompetent, right? It's the weakest excuse of someone who's busy sliding down, the rabbit hole and they can't get out. So, as much as there'll be coverage about the so-called emails, it should just be, ignored, because now it's a hot topic. It's something to talk about. It's something that brings in the ratings. The more people watch it, but no one has to. And I want to give an example. The video that people showed where Hillary was calling young black men who are getting arrested super predators. Now, she's not the one that coined that term, mind you. And she was briefed by the so-called people who knew what was happening and how it happens, and these kids have absolutely no remorse. They'll kill you in this way and that way. And for someone that's caring, of course you'll react, right? And she did in her own way, but she's not the one that started the three strikes movement that started in California. So, as she has grown older, she's learned a lot. That's why we say she's the most qualified candidate ever to run that great nation. And as well as she's humble. I don't. There was a soldier that told me she wouldn't even greet him. She just walked by as we stood there. Like sort of saying she's unhuman. Robotic, and all of that stuff. But Hillary has matured to the point where she's admitting uh, she can do everything herself, and she doesn't want to do everything herself. And that sets the epitome of someone who will be a good leader, and that's someone who's willing to be cooperative, right? And a lot of good things come from that, right? um, if you're not seen as this big American threat, it's akin to what happened in Cuba when President Barack Obama finally said people can visit Cuba, and it wasn't hostile. I mean, Shaq O'Neal was playing basketball with some kids. So those misconceptions of the past are something that need to be left in the past. Bear in mind, it wasn't just one person drafting up bills and saying, yeah, these young kids should go where. No, she lobbied for the safety of younger kids, girls, and so forth, being pressured to join gangs, do drugs, and all of that stuff. So her approach might have been misguided at the time, but obviously she knows better now. My concern with Hillary is not about trust. It's about TPP. I think if she can reform it to make it better, then okay. But to say no, she won't go along with it. That is, it's sort of like building that invisible wall, because of course America can be self-sustaining for a long time, but at a certain era you will need more assistance. And you look at the Mexicans who cross the border illegally. They come, they are maids, or they work in the gardens and so forth to make money. And seeing it from that perspective, then you realize that people just want to better their life. and that's why they cross the border, and because they are cheap labor. A lot of undocumented citizens are used as slave labor, and you know they can't have a big argument about it because they are not formal citizens, so to say. So